You're hiking through a dim forest at dusk. Suddenly, right next to your foot, you spot a long, thin, curved shape in the tall grass. Your heart rate triples. Adrenaline floods your system. Before you can even form a conscious thought, you jump back in terror. You catch your breath, steady your vision, and take a closer look. The threat vanishes. It is a wooden stick. Just a harmless, crooked branch sitting in the dirt. Your brain completely fabricated a deadly reality. It flooded your body with stress hormones and physically moved your muscles based on a hallucination. But it lied to you on purpose. It ran the math and decided that absolute panic was the safest way to guarantee your physical survival. Our bodies respond to the categories our minds invent as if they are objective physical truths. We sweat, we shake, and we react to a label before we ever process the actual details of the object in front of us. Psychologists call this categorical thinking. It is our brain's obsessive need to sort a messy, highly complex world into neat, binary boxes. Items are instantly sorted into folders, like safe or dangerous, friend or foe. This sorting mechanism is a heuristic, a biological mental shortcut. Our neurobiology deploys these shortcuts when speed is vastly more important than accuracy. In the wild, if you stop to analyze the specific, nuanced biology of a reptile moving through the grass, you die. Evolution demands that you slap a label on it in milliseconds and move. We inherited this primitive, binary survival software from our ancestors. Today, we attempt to navigate a deeply nuanced, interconnected modern reality using the exact same code. A continuous horizontal gradient blends smoothly from red to orange. Measure the light waves, and you see a seamless transition of physical reality. Nature provides this blend completely free of objective boundaries. But our brain intervenes, forcing that continuum into distinct, rigid color categories. The number of boundaries your brain draws depends entirely on your language and your professional needs. A master painter might see 40 distinct color boxes on that spectrum, while a casual observer only sees 2. The physical light never changes, only the mental folders do. Boundaries are not discovered out in nature. They are actively manufactured by the human mind to impose a manageable order onto chaos. Robert Sapolsky, a neurobiologist at Stanford University and author of the book Behave, studies the anatomical foundation of how we draw these lines. Sapolsky points out that when you jumped away from that stick in the woods, your amygdala handled the split-second threat sorting, but your frontal cortex is responsible for building and maintaining our long-term, sustained categorical judgments over time. Once that frontal cortex draws a boundary and places a label on a group, it triggers a major perceptual distortion known as compression. Notice compression. We start with varied dots, but as our brain categorizes them, we violently squeeze them into a single, uniform mass. Then comes amplification. The brain takes 2 categories and artificially widens the gap between them, throwing up a massive barrier. Because of compression and amplification, our perception breaks down. We simultaneously lose the unique traits of the individual and completely erase the objective nuance of the situation. These twin distortions do not stay confined to our internal neurobiology. They scale up and govern our external society. When you apply compression and amplification to complex human populations, you get tribalism. Millions of highly individualistic people are flattened into rigid us versus them boxes. A tiny 1% difference in ideology or identity is amplified by the brain into an insurmountable, hostile divide. The people in the other box stop looking like complex humans and start looking like uniform threats. Categorical thinking functions as a vital biological lifesaver in the wild. In modern society, it mutates into our most destructive psychological trap. The goal is not to delete your mental categories. You need those boxes to navigate daily life and avoid walking into traffic. The goal is conscious awareness. You have to actively look for the blurry edges. You have to locate the spaces where your rigid mental folders fail to map onto the continuous gray reality of the physical world. When you feel your amygdala pushing you toward a primitive, binary either-or reflex, pause. Force your frontal cortex to engage in deliberate both-and thinking instead. Look at your own life right now. What is one specific label or box you use every day to oversimplify your world? Question it today. Recognizing the glitch in our biological software is the only way to ensure we control our categories, rather than letting our categories control us.